Shalom. Shalom, Yeshua. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching 100% truth. Wa Barakatham to the 144,000, as well as the rest of the elect. May peace and blessings be unto your households. It's your brother Gadal from the Great Millstone Dallas branch, and in this quick lesson, just going to get into pretty much every idle world, man. Every idle word, right? Every idle word, so will be used to get you in court, pretty much, right? So everything that you say, do, and say will be held against you on Judgment Day, right? Speaking to you, you mainly you scoffers, man, right? Everything you said, hell, even a thought that you had towards his men, Lord's going to use it. It will be used against you in court. Like I said, on Judgment Day when Yahweh Shah comes back, man. So let me go ahead and get that. Matthew chapter 12 and verse 36. It says, "But I say unto you that every idle word that man shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment." So everything that you do, you're gonna be held accountable for, right? Whether it'll be justified or not. And just read that, it was gonna say in the next verse pretty much. Matthew chapter 12, verse 37. It's like you. It says, "For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned." Right? So you're either going to be justified by the words that you say, or you're going to be condemned, or the words that you say, you're going to be condemned. For the 2/3, they're going to be condemned. For the elect, they're going to be justified because they're speaking pretty much the word of Yahweh Shem Shah. Right? Preaching to the saving of, Lord willing, your souls, man. So yeah, the elect, they're going to be justified in what they're saying, because guess what? They're going to be held accountable for what they've been doing down here too. But the Lord's going to have more mercy on them. But as far as the 2/3, yeah, you're going to be held to the full standard of the law, and you're going to be judged thereby. Right? So for y'all that mistreated, misused the prophets, it says in 2 Chronicles, bro, there's going to be some recompense for that, man. Right? There's going to be recompense, man. Lord Yahweh Shem Shai going to show you that same energy. Right? As scriptures goes into, man, if you offend any of these little ones, man, right, it's best that you tie a millstone around your neck and, fall to the bottom of the sea. So it's like, dang, it's that bad if you offend one of his little ones. You offend one of the Lord's elect, man, oh, he coming for you. He coming for you. All right? He really gonna get you for mistreating his prophets, man. I'm gonna go ahead and get this. This is Revelation chapter. Matter of fact, before I get Revelation, I'm gonna get this other Matthew. It's Matthew chapter 16, verse 27. It says, "For the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father with his angels, and then he shall reward every man according to his works." Exactly. So Yahweh Shai, he's gonna come back in the glory of his Father, right? New angelic body, celestial body, to judge every man according to their works, man. So everybody's gonna get judged according to what you've been doing, right? Matter of fact, about ain't no way, boy. Ain't no way. Salakia. So I just thought about scripture. 2 Corinthians 9 verse 6. It says, dang, bro. Come on, man. Salakia, y'all. All right. 2 Corinthians 9 and verse 6 says, "But this I say, he which soweth sparingly shall reap also sparingly, And he that soweth bountifully shall reap off also bountifully. Right? So if you reap sparingly, right, which goes into a very little amount, then guess what? You're going to reap sparingly. You're gonna reap very little. Right? You're gonna reap very little from what you literally what you put in is what you're gonna get out. And it's the same way when it comes to Yahweh Shah. If you didn't do anything to serve Yahweh Shah, you're just you claim to believe you're Israelite, but you believe, but you ain't doing shit. Guess what? Lord ain't gonna do shit for you. Straight up. But if you're doing stuff, things for the ministry, trying to help brothers in every way you can, because you don't have to, be a preacher, because not everybody's going to teach, but we encourage you to start teaching, to do the work, because that's the big bulk of the work is teaching, right? But yeah, so if you're a believer, and you might give brother money, just to I guess, well, I don't want to say tithe, but basically tithing of your own will, right? Or making brother garments, giving brothers incense, stuff of that matter, bro. Because it's so much more than just making lessons, bro. You could be helping brothers out in their day-to-day lives with certain things that they may need. That's part of doing the work too. You know, not just chilling. Nah, making yourself useful. Useful unto Yahweh Bashion Shah by helping his men. But if you're a teacher, you're able to teach. Now, the biggest thing you need to be doing is teaching. Yahweh Shah, hey, Simon, lovest thou me? Feed my sheep. And the Lord said it 3 times for a reason. Number 3 goes into understanding. So Lord wants you to understand how important it is to feed the sheep if you are gifted with the ability to teach. As a man, as far as women, you don't teach. You serve your man. If you don't got a man, you pray to the Lord to send you one. Because that's your duty, to serve your man. All right? So yeah. So if you're sowing sparingly, very little, you're going to reap sparingly. But if you're sowing bountifully, a lot in this ministry, giving it all you got, then you're going to reap bountifully. All right? Let's go continue on. Revelation chapter 22 verse 12. And so, behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give to every man according as his work shall be. All right? So the Lord, when he comes back, his reward, he's going to reward everybody according to what you're doing. You're either going to be rewarded with a missile, or you're going to be rewarded with, the new bodies. Being joint heirs with Yahweh Shai, the first going around, man. First fruits. That's really the only 2 options as it is, man. Either going to be rewarded with destruction, the Lord's indignation, or you're going to be rewarded with the Lord's mercy. Get the new body. Be changed. Make it to the kingdom the first go around. Them are your only 2 options. So every other word, man, you're going to have to give account there, man. So what you've been doing in Babylon the Great, man, you're going to be held accountable for it. If you ain't been doing nothing, then guess what? Don't expect nothing from the Lord. But if you've been doing the best that you can, even when you're at your lowest moments, you're still fighting, trying to do things that's pleasing unto Yahweh Shah, then guess what? Lord ain't going to turn that away. But anyways, Lord willing, you're edified. I want to end it off by saying, Ka Halal, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And until next time, I say, Shalom, Mr. Rallah.